Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Willie the Kid. I'm here from Eastlake Boxing in association with Three Kings Boxing, sponsored by the Movement. Today we have a very special guest. He's like my grandfather, y'all. My man from Truth and Facts About Boxing. What's going on, bro?
What's good, Will? What's good, man? Glad to
Ain't
be
nothing,
here.
man. Glad to be doing this with you once again. Seems like we always doing these shits, man.
Yeah, I know, man. That's the life we choose.
Hey, but today I want to talk about some of what we seen this year. But let's start with something recent. I don't know if you saw the Three Kings article. Eddie Hearn saying that Wilder's next after Joshua. I haven't really gotten a chance to talk to you about that and see how you feel. So why don't you let us know?
Yeah, he said it after Parker. Wilder is next. I think for the majority, and he also said something I think is important too.
Wait, let me ask you: is he bullshitting?
You know, it's tough, man. It's tough to tell. It really is tough to tell. To a certain degree, I think he's playing with words because he says Wilder's next, and then he says stuff like, the fight's got to happen in 2018. Wilder had to be more realistic about his negotiations. So, it's kind of like a play on words where you say next, but then you say something, you know what I'm saying, after that, like, well, this fight definitely got to happen in 2018. So I think, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to tell, but I think it's something that he has to say so people don't think that they're trying to prolong and drag this fight out. So he has to give people something. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But my thing is, anything that he said to you in the article that caught your eye? Have you read the article or?
Oh yeah, I read the article. One of the things that he said that really kind of caught my eye was it definitely seems that they want to gear up for an undisputed heavyweight champion. That's like number one right there. So it definitely seemed like, okay, listen, we want to kind of gear everything up so we can have ourselves an undisputed champion. It definitely seems like that they're serious about his promotion of going forward, Anthony Joshua. He seems very serious, and he seems to try to like get a feel for what a broader scale of fan base, not just UK, but because remember now he's trying to work the US circuit. So he seems like in the article he's trying to get a feel for how the US circuit works with as far as fans are concerned.
I mean, I think there's really no other fight to be made for him. I mean, who can he really fight after Parker unless he goes after Povetkin or somebody like that? So, I think this is the fight he has to make. So, I think he's pretty much in the corner right now between the rock and the hard place because I think I could see him trying to push this fight a little further along. Mm-hmm. The further it goes, the more buzz it generates, the more money it will make. But to me, I don't think it can make any more money than what it's already potentially could be a big money making fight for everybody involved.
Oh man, most definitely, most definitely, most definitely. I agree with you on that. I think the one thing that everybody got to understand is too, and I say this all the time, everything do depend on what's going to happen with Tyson Fury. Because I said before, if Tyson Fury comes back, if he really comes back, I see them fighting Tyson Fury before they fight Wilder, and that could potentially push Wilder that fight back to 2019. Now, also, I was listening to something, I forget who it was, but also keep in mind that this fight, if it happens in 2018, is probably going to have to happen in the summertime because they have a lot of things going on at Wembley Stadium because they're going to want to have.
That's yeah, I did an interview with Wilder's manager, and he was speaking about that. They have a rainy season,
right?
So it's definitely an outdoor stadium. So there's some things to watch there. So it has to be done like at the proper time.
Exactly.
So That's probably something. The logistics of it, they're gonna have to work it out.
Most definitely. Exactly. So you are 100% right there.
So I don't know, man. I really want. That's the fight I want to see, a heavyweight. I don't want to see any other fight, to be honest with you. Parker Joshua doesn't really interest me. Ortiz Wilder could interest me a little bit. You know, I just don't know how much Ortiz has in the tank. So,
I think the biggest question for the Ortiz Wilder is, I think it was, well, with the performance Ortiz just had, even though it was just a completely outclassed opponent, okay, let's just be real. Yeah. But it was a performance that we saw, okay, he still has it. In other words, it's a performance where, okay, he still has, if you look at the Rigo Lomachenko situation, that fight, Rigo, with that, when he fought Moses Flores, that fight was rendered a no contest. You see what I'm saying? So we really didn't get to really see much of what does he have, what can, a skill set, as to where with Ortiz, we saw, okay, he still has it. We saw, even though it was against an overmatched opponent, at least he showed, okay, he still has it. He didn't go no 12 rounds with a dude he should have blasted through, and he blasted through him. Then he did the right thing, which got all up in Deontay Wilder's face like that. And mind you, this is after Wilder's coming off of a huge knockout over Bermane Stiverne, so shit is still kind of hot for him.
Yeah, shit got real after the fight. You could say that again, man. I kind of I like that though. I like the fact that he started saying, I forget. He said something like, "You motherfucking beach." Yeah, he cracked me up with that, man. But that's probably gonna be March. Parker, AJ, I believe is in March. So if everything goes well, sounds like June, July.
Yeah, if everything goes well, man, June to July, it's gonna happen. June to July. It's around when did Klitschko and AJ take place?
I believe it was around the same time.
Yeah, because that's an outdoor stadium, so it's got to be a good weather day.
Right, and just also reference. I guess you get like we're gonna have to have Aaron on one day so he can explain that to us. But I guess it's because I remember they had Spence, what's his name? Spence versus Brook in the stadium. And that was in May. So I guess it's probably from May to July or around there or so. So hopefully they could get this done. It'll be probably one of the biggest fights of 2018. I mean, that's something to look forward to. Let me shift gear real quick. You saw the Monster today? Have you gotten to see that fight yet?
No, I haven't had a chance to see that fight, but I read.
You don't bother, bro.
Yeah, I read the article. Like that fight was just a damn annihilation, man.
Hey, anyway, it stopped him with a body shot, bro.
Oh, wow.
He put him down with numerous body shots in the last round. The third round, the referee finally waved it off. He looked sharp. He was nice. He looked very patient. He's coming along nicely, man. So hopefully we could get that. He might fight Solani Tete, who said he's open to fighting him. But we shall see, because this same guy said he was open to fighting Rigo. I don't know if you remember. And then when the opportunity came along, he didn't really jump on it. So we shall see about that, man. But what I really wanted to ask you was, what shocked you the most this year?
Come on, man. Why you want to ask me that?
God, hey, man. It's been a great year, man. You can't deny that.
Oh, no denying.
Oh, I know what shocked you the most. That's why you don't want to answer that shit. All right, so let's start with something different. What excited you the most this year?
I can add, you know what shocked me the most? It was two things that shocked me the most. Of course, Rigo quitting like that, man. I think that shocked everybody.
Yeah, that's my shocker. Yeah, that's definitely my shocker.
That Rigo quitting, I think that just shocked everybody. And the Rigo quitting shocked everybody. And the amount of dudes that was fucking that dropped belts this year.
To pursue other things.
Yeah, to pursue other fights. And the only reason why I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it in retrospect of
Badu,
like
Badu Jack did it.
Who else did it?
Bivol. Bivol said he was ready.
Lamont Peterson did it.
Lamont Peterson did it.
And even though they did it to make better fights, my thing is though, but you could have went to the table with that belt and had a little bit more cachet. You know what I'm saying? Like a little bit more bargaining power when you go to the table with that belt. You know, like you should have went on and fought the regular champion, and you could have went to the table with that. Although for Lamont Peterson, the regular champion was Keith Thurman.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you know that, and then of course, you know, between Rigo and Luis Ortiz, man, they just.
Well, with the medication or Luis Ortiz just bouncing back the way he did.
No, with the whole medication situation and the fact that that nobody got fired behind that situation from his team.
Oh yeah, we spoke about that tremendously. I mean,
that was a bit of a shocker to me because normally when something like that happens, somebody loses their job. So that was a bit of a shocker to me.
I mean, to me, the shocker was besides the Rigo quitting like the way he quit, you know, losing is losing. There's no shame in that. The way he did it, that shocked me. But Mikey going to 140 shocked me a little bit because I just thought there was some good fights that could be made at 135. That will be profitable and made money too.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Mikey going to 140 shocked me.
Hold on.
Go ahead. The unwillingness of anybody to really face Errol Spence, even with a belt, kind of caught me by surprise. Outside of that, really, the way Rambasai came on the scene, taking Chocolatito out, knocking him out, that shocked me. Man, it's been a beautiful year. A lot of good things going on in the sport. So, you know, it's pretty much how I didn't expect some things to happen. I didn't expect some fights to happen that did happen. But it's been a freaking excellent year, man.
Oh yeah, this year most definitely has been probably the best year for boxing, period. You know, and it's crazy when you look at like if you were to look at 20. There he is.
Oh shit! Who the hell invited this guy?
What it do, man?
What it do, old man?
Oh man.
Yeah, well, today's reverse
Shanghai
day.
Night. Ah, shut up, Will.
Hey, but we was just talking about what was the biggest shocker in the sport, boxing this year. So what shocked you the most? By the way, everybody, it's my boy Kasha. He's on with us. He just hopped on.
What it do, everybody? Let me think on that one. I would say, was it Yamanaka getting knocked out?
Ooh.
Was it him?
Ooh.
Or didn't he get knocked out by a guy who dropped dirty for steroids though?
Louis Neri
too.
Neri failed the test.
Yeah, but I was still shocked that he
wasn't able.
Nah, bro. That ain't been working since the 60s.
Well, you know what, though? I always tell people this about that fight. I don't know, Bo, maybe you could agree to this. I think if they fought again and the guy was clean, it'll be the same results.
I agree with that.
I know.
I agree with that.
I was just shocked that Yamanaka wasn't, able to use his veteran savvy to win the fight.
Yeah, I think the age caught up to him, though. And he had like a young lion in front of him. You know what I mean?
It wasn't like Floyd Chicanito.
Nah.
Go that way.
Nah, it wasn't. But also, I think Bo and I mentioned the way Rigo quit.
Yeah.
Another
That
thing
was
I
a
threw
big
out.
ass shot. I know Bo already said that because he Cuban.
Yeah, he ain't
He
want to
take
say it.
he take
Yeah,
all
I
the
had it.
shots for the Cuban.
Yo, Kashad, I had to lead him into it.
Yeah, he did. He
He,
did. He
he ain't want
did.
to say it, bro.
No, I
Uh,
didn't. I was like, dirty bastard. I was
I,
like, you dirty bastard.
you know what else I mentioned? The unwillingness of people to face Errol Spence, like the time he's had a hard time finding like an opponent. Took him all the way
I
to
agree.
now to find one, man. I thought I know he was avoided when he was a challenger, but I thought being a champion would have propelled him to like make other guys want to fight him. You know what I'm saying? And that hasn't translated. Bernard has joined us, folks.
What's good?
Bernard, you there? Oh, he put us on mute. He must be at work.
He on assignment right now. He up there. He looking for somebody. He probably
He probably looking for a
No,
box.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I'm about to say he probably scuba diving underwater in this cold ass weather looking for somebody.
No, I'm here. I was listening to Willie speak. What's up, fellas? I didn't want to be rude and cut
Nah,
in
no
there.
problem, man. How you feeling?
I saw the messages, so I said let me go and hop in.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, yo, I want to ask y'all, each and every one of y'all. I'm gonna start with Bo. Who's your fighter of the year?
Oh, that's easy for me, man. I got Terrence Crawford. If it wasn't for Terrence Crawford, I would probably go for Rumfaside. Rumfaside would be like a close second for me. Rumfaside would be a close second. Rumfaside Lomachenko would be a close second and third only because Lomachenko has fought 3 times this year. Everybody else has pretty much fought like maybe twice. But Terrence Crawford, most definitely, man. He beat. When you look at the quality of the opponent, he demoralized the Felix Diaz. I mean, just demoralized him and dominated him. Then he became undisputed. And that's a record. Nobody's done that in a very long time. So, regardless of who he did it against, that's not his fault. That's not his problem.
Right.
He still beat a dude, regardless of how people feel about it. He still beat a dude who won the title by fighting back-to-back champions. You know what I'm saying?
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, I mean, the guy, it's not like he beat a dude who, like, I get what people are trying to say, but the reality is, it shows how good Ndongo was because he beat back-to-back champions on 2 different continents.
Yeah.
So, and Ndongo had the height advantage and the reach advantage. Crawford had him in the skill set, and Crawford made every fight look easy that he was in 2017. So much so that the only dude that people think that can beat him is a possible Errol Spence. That's it. So Terrence Crawford, without a doubt, dog, that's my fighter of the year.
Kashad?
I think for Terrence Crawford to not be anybody's fighter of the year, and you're not like repping a country or something like that, I can understand it from like a very small, lesser known country, and your boxer won a big fight or a native land belt. If Terrence Crawford is not your fighter of the year, you know, you just don't like boxing. You have not been watching. So it is what it is. But I mean, I keep telling y'all, man. I told y'all the next super fight in boxing is gonna be Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, and it's gonna live up to its name. So it is what it is. I think Terrence Crawford is hands down fighter of the year.
Bernard?
fighter of the year.
Yeah.
Wow. I could give it to Terrence Crawford, and I could agree with everybody. But I read something on
Watch it now.
I'm not going to state on it. We cool with him though. In fact, he's a friend of me. He's a friend of me of mine.
Oh, nah, he's not there no more. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but well, his people then wrote something.
Yeah, I saw that.
Made a good case for Andre Ward, and I can actually now looking at it, I can see why Andre Ward could be fighter of the year because he made sure the second fight he beat against Kovalev, there was no conclusion. He knocked Kovalev out. I mean, he stopped Kovalev, with body punches. You know what I'm saying? And Kovalev was a pound for pound fighter. Their first fight was like a chess match. He squeaked out the victory, that some would say, but again, it was another pound for pound fight on that list, and he did it. even though it was just one fight, he fought one fight this year, then retired. I can actually see why that case is made. But I mostly went with. I'm going to agree with the board. I mean, everybody on here and say Terrence Crawford, but I can see Andre Ward as a second.
Okay, I personally, my fight of the year is Terrence Crawford. Just one word, well, two, undisputed champion. That holds weight with me. As a purist, something that I haven't seen in a long time, something that the sport hasn't seen in a long time. I think the fact that he was able to accomplish that, now he's moving up in weight. He's looking at another champion. I mean, 2018 could shape up to be a great year for the sport. But definitely Terrence Crawford for me. Now, I'm going to go a different route, though. I'm going to ask you guys one thing. What fighter shocked you the most this year? In other words, whether he shocked you the way he lost or won or anything. Now I'm going to go backwards this time. I'm going to start with Bernard.
Man, wow, that's
a good question.
Good question. Like, I would go with Rungvisai.
That win.
So that win, but I'm gonna shout out to Big Bro 2K when he said in the second fight, Rungvisai showed that he had head movement and he moved against Roman, and I saw it. but he knocked Roman out though. That was a really messed up.
Yeah, man. I was like,
Roman out, like
when he knocked him out, I channel my inner 2K, bro. I was like, get the fuck out of here! You kidding me?
Yeah. So I can see him as that one fight that you didn't expect because we thought the second. I don't think that first fight was fight because of that style of fighting that Roman made fights. He made it a fight he didn't really need to. He used the skills that he was using that he wasn't before that.
Right.
There were certain things I didn't like, but
you let me ask you a question though. You think Roman made a mistake by trying to trade with him the way he did?
I think
like,
so.
It just seems like every time Rungvisai hit him, he kind of hurt him.
This is why there are some certain videos I look at. I think I posted it earlier. Earlier this year by this guy Lee Wiley. He breaks down fighters in terms of their style, and there were certain things Chocolatito wasn't doing. And I was looking like, yo, he wasn't using certain footwork. It's like he came in there trying to and that was like, yo, this dude weighs more than you. It's not gonna work out, and it backfired. He should have came in there patient. He was trying to go in there for the knockout. And as Bo usually said, when a person tried to do that, it could work for them and benefit, but most of the time it doesn't. And this clearly showed, like, yo. And then for people to say he was an HBO hype job, I don't think he was. I'm not gonna say he's a hype job.
He wasn't.
It's a lower division, and he was just.
You know what it was? At the end of the day, to be honest with you, he's just too small for 115.
Is he stuck? Okay.
He's too small for that weight class.
I got a question out there, everybody on the panel, but my second, I think I had somebody else, but Rungvisai would probably be my top guy, but who shocked me this year? I mean, unless you go with
remember it could
Truax would be
that was a shocker.
Given the Gale and Rigo quitting, that shocked me as well. Like, yo,
it could be good or bad. So yeah.
Yeah, so it was like I'd say for me the top three that happened this year.
You know what? The guy that shocked me this year, well, he's been doing it for a longer while. It's the Cuban, Sullivan Barrera. The way he bounced back after being dominated from by Andre Ward, I like that in a fighter. You know what I mean? So but Rungvisai is definitely probably my number one because the way he beat Chocolatito impressively. He didn't leave no doubt on the table. He left him sleeping, as a matter of fact. Kashaya, you want to take a crack at it?
The fighter that shocked me the most, right? Or whatever. I would say Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua shocked me the most this year. And becoming the media darling he has become, I would say that I thought, the game he was pitching, and I know he's done a lot in a short period of fights, or a short resume, rather. But, I mean, that's not saying much with the state of the heavyweight division. It's kind of just now heating back up with some good amateur standouts finally building up some names. Mm-hmm. But I think Anthony Joshua shocked me the most because I thought he'd have been really giddy to get Ed Wilder. I thought like this show, I kind of want to blame it on promoters, but I think Anthony Joshua is kind of he's maximizing on his dollar value, so you can't hate on him, but I think he's gonna drag this along too. Like he's gonna make this a mini Mayweather Pacquiao when it doesn't have to be.
It already is. So I could argue that.
Yeah, but I don't even think it is. I don't think Deontay Wilder or Joshua
love the big boys though, man.
Yeah, but Wilder or Joshua, neither of them have the resume for this to be a big fight like that. They're just big guys.
It could be a big fight because of a few things. I didn't mean to cut you off, I apologize.
You good?
Say this real quick. It could be a big fight because it's the U.S. versus the U.K.
Yeah, the U.K. is definitely gonna be. It's a big fight over there right now.
Yeah, they got the arena to make it. It's gonna sell 90,000. That's the arena it should be in. I don't think it's gonna be in if it's a rematch, it should be in the United States to get so the people can see it. But if you still want to maximize your money the first time around, because it's gonna be a global event, just like when Anthony Joshua went against Klitschko.
Yeah.
So that's why that rivalry between the U.S. and U.K., the fact that we got a U.S. champion.
Nail in the coffin, I don't necessarily call it a rivalry, though.
I mean, I think it's a rivalry with the U.S. fighters in U.K. I think it is in sports in general.
I mean, we always go over there and beat Leon. You know what I'm saying? So
it's a rivalry, Yeah, I see what you're saying, but it's still a rivalry. See, you have to understand something, man. And this is not and I know UK people gonna listen to it and kind of get down, but they haven't had a champion like this that they can feel good about since maybe Lennox Lewis.
Yeah, I mean Lennox Lewis to me is one of the it's a highly touted fighter in my opinion. I love the guy.
Yeah, so they've been waiting a long time because remember, I think matter of fact last year UK fighters was like on top in a lot of weight. They had 14 world champions.
Yeah. 15, 14 around it.
Right. Now we saw that number dwindle drastically. Now you have Anthony Joshua, and this is who they've been waiting on. So that pride thing, and so I do think it's a rivalry because now you have pride, and on top of the fact that the rivalry even makes it look even more is you have a fighter in Wilder who many perceive to appear to be very beatable. Also,
Kashai, any thoughts on that? Oh, he got. No, that's all right, man. We understand.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We hear you. We don't hear that girl in the background telling you to get your ass off the phone.
Oh shit.
Yeah, my bad. I had some service interruptions or something like that. But
right.
I agree with y'all. The reason I say it's not a Mayweather Pacquiao type.
It's not though. It's not.
It's simply because we're making this a countryman type thing with them. You see how you guys just had that whole dialogue about the United States versus the UK?
Yeah.
That whole thing. I mean, outside of Lennox Lewis, I mean, you can really throw Ben and it's another cat in there. I'm forgetting his name now. But outside of them, I mean, yeah, but outside of them, Lennox is the only one that truly has a feather in the cap that I can think of. Readily right now. But
Prince Ahmed was highly thought of.
Yeah. But and Ricky hadn't even.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Ricky Hatton, yeah.
But
Is
where was I
it,
going with this?
it's not you don't see that angle.
Yeah, it's not. That's not here. This, like, people are just. This is just another argument. Everybody just wants to argue, which of these big guys. It's almost like a horse. And
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, my horse is better than your horse, or something like that. I don't think either of these guys have a resume to drag this fight out as long as I think it should. And I'm just shocked because I didn't think Anthony Joshua would do it. I just didn't. I'm a Joshua fan. I'm picking Wilder. I don't think anything's wrong with that. But at the end of the day, I see the business in it. This man just made $20 million fighting Vladimir. Like, we need I understand the promotional companies. Yeah, I understand the promotional companies not wanting to rush Undisputed, but I mean, it's like, come on, fam. Like, I thought these guys were rushing to be the next Ali. I thought the heavyweight division was trying to, and I'm not even talking about outside of the ring. I know that's a tall, order to fill, but these guys are not trying to get in there with each other and just get down. And Joshua is the money man. He's the money man now, and he seems to be okay with just kind of stalling everything.
Here's the thing, though, right? Here's the thing. I want to piggyback on something. I do agree Wilder can win, but here's the thing: this heavyweight division isn't stacked with fighters like it was during the Tyson era and Evander Holyfield era.
All the more reason for them to get to each other sooner.
Because this is the question I had. This is the question that I gotta ask, and I do agree they should get to each other sooner. I'm liking Wilder going against Ortiz. It could derail some things if he loses, or we could see something totally different where he could step up and show us something. That's the Joshua.
I got a question. I don't mean to cut you off, Bernard. Mm-hmm. What does it derail if Wilder loses to Ortiz?
It puts I guess it will put Ortiz as the next up.
It puts Ortiz
exactly. And the division keeps going. What I'm saying is, I feel like
it could derail plans for Wilder. I know
Wilder. It derails plans for Wilder, Joshua, but we're talking about the division itself. Too many of these guys are trying to hold up a division. Like,
but you're saying it opens up another avenue.
Yeah, like, I don't care. Wilder needs to fight Ortiz. After that, if he can't fight Joshua, he can fight somebody else. Joshua, if you're gonna keep playing this money man stuff, keep doing it and just pissing people off and having UK behind you because we've made this a country type thing. But I feel like that division, the heavyweight division, is nowhere near stacked enough for them to dodge around each other. Like, it's not.
But here's my thing, Kashad. Here's my thing, though. This is what I want to ask. Where does after that fight happen, you may even get a rematch, 2 fights, maybe 3.
That's where you got them young lions coming up. You better watch Mr. Boxing Today too, channel. It's plenty of young lions coming up. I think Virgil Hunter got a cat that'll really get wild.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Somebody else got another cat.
He needs more time. You got the guy Virgil Hunter.
He's not there yet, but he will be.
Yeah, Daniel Dubois.
Right. Daniel Dubois.
Yeah, I'm looking at Daniel Dubois. What's the name of the Virgil Hunter cat? What's the name of the Virgil Hunter cat? Because I definitely now want to look at him because Virgil Hunter's my favorite.
Him. I can't remember. I know his name, but I also know.
I should know it too.
I also know my James, Uncle James Ali Bashir got a.
He got one.
He got one too. 6'7", 250.
Out of Africa, right?
Yeah, right. Yep. So. So I see what Kashad is saying.
Hey, Bo.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too deep into the heavyweight shit because you still haven't told us your answer. So you could lead into that whenever you feel like it.
I'm talking about my biggest what now is it again?
What's your biggest breakthrough? Like
unexpected fighter of the year.
Unexpected, good or bad. Like what you didn't expect to see.
Okay, honestly, what I didn't expect to see Top Rank to work with other promotional companies like it did this year. But but in essence, they had to because you think about it, the contract they had with ESPN, if that was going to be successful, and I've said this 1,000 times even on my show, you can't make in-house fights. You can't have all your fights be in-house fights. So you have to work with other promotional companies. They work with, with the Felix Diaz situation. They with Bandu Jack's people. I mean, not Bandu, and Julius Ndongo's people. Rock Nation for Rio. Even Jeff Horn. Now, granted, he would get like options and shit on him, but at least he made them happen. And without that, we wouldn't have got an Undisputed. Jeff Horn wouldn't have just popped out of nowhere, even though I felt he fucking lost. We wouldn't have got the historical thing with two former gold medalists fighting each other. So, man, I got to give them props, man. I just never expected them to work with so many at one time like that. And to a certain degree, give us good fights that wasn't top-ranked recycle fights like we have been seeing on HBO. So, man, I got to give them props on that. Of course, I like that. Of course, everybody's going to say Rumberside because of the way he the way he did Roman Chocolatito was just devastating in itself. One thing that I think was bad this year, and it was what Golden Boy did to Vargas, man. I think they fucked that dude's career up.
Yeah.
You had this dude in 3 straight, hard, tough-ass fights. And, he lost, He lost the belt. And, I think he just had a fight recently, but he didn't look that good. So you might have ruined this guy's career. And here you got guys like him fighting these tough fights, but then Canelo gets fucking Amir Khan and Liam Smith and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
There's levels to this shit, bro.
Yeah, and the really bad thing that was my shocker was how the media totally fucking tried to downplay the racist goddamn emails from Golden Boy. That was a huge shocker to me, considering the fact that they was all down Angel Garcia fucking throat.
Yeah, I know Kashad doesn't even like watching anything Golden Boy because of those emails.
Yeah, I don't really fuck with Golden Boy like that.
Right, and I feel you. I have to.
How you guys feel about, since we're talking about that? How you guys feel the fact that Bernard Hopkins?
Fuck him.
Damn.
Nah, I'm being over dramatic, but I rock with him. I rock with him. His career, but I don't. He's been a problematic figure in black culture for a while now. Like so. Nothing Bernard Hopkins does to me shocks anybody. Like I think he's a cheapskate for trying to cut off that little change with Naseem Richardson. I think he went to John David Jackson, gave that man a quick $2,500 and got his ass knocked out the ring for trying to be cheap, his last fight. So, in all honesty, man, he does a lot of stuff that's counterproductive to where I think we want to go as a race, especially with showing where his allegiance lies with money. But I'm not going to hate that man for getting his money. Just get your money, man, and get out the game. Saw the Prince.
I think for a guy like Bernard Hopkins, who showed supposedly this black pride. Remember, he was he showed all his black pride. I think for a guy like that, then to be in a position that he gets in where you can't be as militant as you would like because it hurts your bottom line. There's an understanding that we have to have, and it's an understanding. I'm not saying we have to accept, but it's an understanding that we have to have when one of ours get into a position of power or a position of prominence or a position that could pave a way for others, that we have to understand they can't be as militant as we would like them to be or as they once were. But at the same time, they also need to understand that there are certain issues regardless of your position.
They also have a certain responsibility, though.
Exactly, right, exactly. That regardless of your position, you have a certain level of responsibility. And the Bernard Hopkins, who was not with Golden Boy, he'd have been all over this if that shit. Remember, this is the same Bernard Hopkins now that said that that his race for greatness when he was about to fight Kovalev was because he wasn't getting enough media coverage because he was black. Remember, he said that. He was a golden boy when he made that comment. So to let these racist emails go by and not really touch on him like he should have, that strikes a nerve with me and a lot of people.
Question, I'm going to say this. What if he addressed it behind closed doors and we don't know what was said?
No, you can't address them like that behind closed doors.
No, I agree with you. But we don't know what he has said behind closed doors. Being that he said to figure, okay, he's in a position of power that has the opportunity to get other things said. We don't, you know what I'm saying? I do agree. Now, if he just said, hey, he didn't say anything that we don't know, yeah, I do agree. Something publicly should be said from his point of view. What's your take on them racist emails?
I got you, Bernard. I got the perfect response to it. If he said something in private, it didn't mean nothing. It didn't mean enough if Oscar ain't never said nothing out in the open.
True.
So whatever he said wasn't the right thing to say.
My thing is something like that. He wasn't saying stuff private behind closed doors when he felt
exactly
when he felt how his career was being messed up because of the color of his skin. So you can't say something behind closed doors on this type of issue either. I mean, but I get what you're saying, Bernard, though.
No. You know, because you said, hey, that he's in a position of power. I do agree. Yeah, you're outspoken about certain things with race and everything. And something should be said. I totally agree. That something should be said. We just don't know what's been addressed behind closed doors, if it has. So that's why I'm saying it.
Okay.
Now, you know what? The good thing for me that happened for 2017 was the emergence and the attention of women's boxing and the WBSS cruiserweight tournament. That shit has been hot.
That shit is popping right now, man.
Yeah, can't say that shit has been hot, man.
Even the super middleweight tournament, man, people are talking about. So
cruiserweight, yes.
Yeah, that shit's been hot. So yeah, man, those are my it's not particularly necessarily a fighter.
Dortico, huh?
Yeah, you know, when you guys talk fight, you guys pretty much took the fighters. So just, you know, just as a whole, just the event period, those are the goods and the bads for me.
So basically, the only reason you're bigging it up is because they got a Cuban fighter in it.
Oh, I mean, who? I didn't even know they had a Cuban fighter in the cruiserweight tournament.
Nah, I'm fucking with you. So listen, guys, I want to ask you one thing before we get into another topic or anything like that. Last week, since we were talking about race, Deontay Wilder said some things.
He heard me. He heard me. It's all right. It's cool. Me and Deontay talking once in a while through y'all YouTube channels.
Yeah, so how you feel him saying that he doesn't get enough love in America because he's black? America doesn't support.
I'm black. I'm black, Will. So of course I'm gonna say that's true. And I feel like, you know, if you can point to a logical explanation why dude don't get you know, rock with, like explain it logically.
Right.
Then I'll believe it. Like, because I do feel like his team. Hold on, bro. His team does need to do more. I will say that. You know, the blame doesn't just lie on Wilder. We did a whole, you know, show on Bo's channel, Truth and Facts About Boxing. If you guys want to go check that out, shameless plug for you, Bo, because you old. I got you. Motherfucker be getting me all the time. So, like, they could do more, but America just ain't trying to rock with them. Like, you know, a lot of these cats forgot that a young Cassius Clay didn't get love for that gold medal.
I mean,
you know, he didn't get love for that gold medal. Come on now. Let's make it up. Let's create a narrative after he got the shakes that he got love for all that shit. I mean, yeah, it was some love, but it wasn't mass love.
No, I think he was more loved after retiring and after he was away from the sport, and even now more in depth than he was when he was a fighter.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was definitely more loved. I'm gonna say not even when he retired. He was more loved during the decline of his career. The George Foreman fight made a lot of people love him because it was a beat the odds type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So, and America always loves like a drama, a good drama.
America doesn't like having tough discussions, and they don't until we as people learn to have these discussions and listen to one another. It's always gonna be like this, man. I mean, it starts with everybody. It doesn't just start with the other side. It also starts with us. We're all got to be willing to talk, sit, listen, and understand, and come to common grounds. Because if not, man, this shit is just gonna keep going round and round, man. Go ahead, Bernard.
I agree with that. I was having a conversation with somebody in the gym today, and I said, he's white, or you could say he looks like he's Italian. And when we don't come into the discussion being open-minded.
Yes.
Willing to learn other person's point of view to try to understand where they're coming from. Talking about race. He's MMA because he was a professional fighter. I'm in the box, so we just had discussions about that. Which one is the better sport? But we come into it with an open mind, not to belittle the other person, not to force our will on the person. But you know what? Let me see from this point of view. Go back, do some research, come back the next day or the next week in the gym and talk to each other about it.
I could tell you folks, man, there was plenty of days when I lived out at. I came back to New York, but it was a time where I was in Jersey, and there was times like I knew what towns not to drive through. I would take the long way home. You know what I mean? I had those talks with my parents, like don't ride with no more than 3 people in the car. Make sure if you get pulled over, stop somewhere where it's well lit. There's people around, things like that. So there is grounds for dialogue and stuff like that. And I'm hoping it seems to be getting kind of worse. Like looks like it's regressing. I'm hoping we could see that shit and do something about it, because at the end of the day, man, it benefits us. It benefits everybody. Really, it benefits the country. Period.
Well, let me say something, man, and let me say something. Being the older cat on the panel, this is something I want everybody to look at, because we're talking about
85.
Hey, baby. And hey, with the way you fucking millenniums is, motherfucker, I'm glad to reach this.
I'm not a millennium. I'm past that age.
I know. But
God.
Deontay Wilder just wasn't talking about him. He wasn't just talking about because of his blackness. He was also stating how Americans, period, don't support
their own fighters.
Right. And that's the part of the conversation I want everybody to focus on, because
I see that a lot on social media. But
Americans don't support boxing.
Yeah.
No, not like you should.
Not like they should.
But here's my problem with that. Like, and I've heard people say things about, well, I don't want to appear to be a nationalist. This is what I've heard people say. But my problem with that is Filipinos, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Asian, they have no problem with being a fucking nationalist.
Hey, Cubans.
Okay, but they have no problem with being a fucking nationalist.
Right. Well, listen.
Well, think about it.
Well, they're nationalists with everything else.
Well, but my point is,
you know what I'm trying to say, though?
Right.
Exactly.
But my point
I feel you, Will.
Wilder has a point when he says how Americans don't support our own fighters, and how the older fighters kind of will hate on you a little bit. We have seen Floyd Mayweather hate on Andre Ward. We've seen it. We've seen him kind of low-key hate, and some kind not low-key, loudly hate on Andre Ward. We've seen some of the heavyweights hate on Deontay Wilder. So I think what people have to understand is, when you're going into these discussions, like, don't all of a sudden just listen to see him say the word black and being hated on, and all of a sudden you tune yourself out to it. Like my man B said is, see, certain conversations, and it's fucked up because somebody just mentioned this. This is one of them conversations that you can have behind closed doors with somebody and have an open mind. But in public, they're not trying to, because of whatever image or whatever perception that they have to, you know what I'm saying, maintain.
There's some people that might listen to this and not like this conversation at all, just because it's this conversation.
Yeah, but he's not. It's not necessarily him specifically focusing on black fighters. He's saying how America's period don't support their own fighters, and the numbers back him up. You got people saying how take a guy like Terrence Crawford and what he has done. You got people saying Lomachenko number pound per pound over Terrence Crawford. You feel me? You got people questioning Terrence Crawford's resume and his moves, okay, but yet comparing Lomachenko to Ali. So, come on, man. He has a point when you look at it. Gennady Golovkin, just last two opponents in Daniel Jacobs and Canelo Alvarez finally were quality opponents. But before he had them two names, you compare Gennady Golovkin's resume to Deontay Wilder's resume.
He had a Deontay Wilder type resume.
Exactly, and people would defend guys like Martin Murray and Daniel Gill on his resume, but when it come to Wilder, they would say, well, he ain't fought a top 10 opponent, and you'd be like, well, and I would give you names, Ilka and Joe and cats who were rated top 10, and all of a sudden it was they became top 10 once Wilder decided to fight him. So it was a no-win. It's just a no-win argument, man.
And I mean, Kashad had a good point where he said America doesn't support boxing, period.
That's true.
A lot of people don't really know the sport. And a lot of times when they watch it, they don't even understand what they're watching. And I'm not talking about punches or none of that. I'm talking about when a guy gets turned, when a boxer sets up a trap, things like that. They don't know the little ins and outs.
A lot of Americans can't fight.
That's because, I said this a long time ago on the show.
Well, that's why they shoot now with Kashad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but
they can't fight. They can't fight. They can't take the goddamn embarrassment of taking the L, bro.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Back when I was growing up, man, you threw down with your hands. 20 minutes later, you was in the playground playing with each other.
Shake hands and move on.
You know, you don't have that shit no more, bro.
No. Well, I mean, think about it, dog. You can't. And this is not to get off topic. You got cats that can't take being roasted in the room we be in. Motherfucker get sensitive over a roast, you know?
Oh yeah.
But to Kashad's point and to your point, the reason why you also have this sort of division as far as boxing not being popular is because mainstream media has sold, and I've said this before, they've sold boxing in a very commercial way. Go back and watch fights where you had Marv Albert, Howard Cosell, the Fight Doctor, Freddie Pachinko. Even listen to old Al Bernstein. They break down the fight in such a way it made you want to watch the fight. Even if a fight was coming off of a loss, they would break the fight down from a stylistic standpoint. Like, yeah, he came off a loss, but facing this guy, XYZ works for him here.
Yeah, Showtime comes the closest to that.
Right, they taught you the sport so you knew what you was watching. They don't do that no more. It's either if it's a knockout, then it's a good fight. If it's not a knockout, it was shit.
You know who's very good at that, man? Paulie.
Yeah.
Paulie, he's very good at explaining what you're seeing in the ring. But the other guys get all the echo lights now, like Lampley. You know, bang, bang, bang. Big right hand by Pacquiao. That should be missing by like 10 feet. But, you know, that's another thing. Let's get back on topic. I want to ask y'all one thing and one thing only. Who's your prospect of the year?
We
gonna start with Kashad because he over there quiet.
I had to think on that one, man.
All right, we'll get back to you then, you old young ass motherfucker.
Your old young ass.
Country ass motherfucker. Hey, Bo.
Yeah, hey, you see how he got to find something, right? He got to find something, right?
Hey, Bo.
What's up?
Go ahead, man.
I got two of them.
I know you got a couple in mind, right?
Oh, yeah, I got two. I got Josh Taylor.
Okay.
That's a good prospect. I saw the O'Hara Davis fight. They had another fight where he dropped the guy who's never been beat before. He dropped him. I mean, never knocked out before. He finished him off with a body shot. Yeah, with a body shot at that. So that was impressive. And then Lamont Roach Jr., who is a Golden Boy fighter, and I'm Kashad has the privilege. I don't, because I'm in sort of like the media eye or so I don't have the privilege of being, like, I ain't gonna fuck with you. I gotta watch it if it's boxing.
I have to, yeah.
Yeah, we have to. But yeah, Lamont Roach Jr. is another good prospect that I kind of like. I think he's a future star. So those two guys right there are the first ones to come to mind. And keep in mind, when we say prospect, we're not talking about guys who are contenders for titles.
Right.
Guys got to keep that in mind. Like Earl Spence he should not have been a prospect last year. He was in contention for a title.
He was a prospect by default because nobody will fight him.
Yeah, exactly. So, but
Bernard?
yeah, Josh Taylor and my man Lamont Roach.
Bernard?
There's a guy that Malachi put me on. I do not want to. I want to say Naim Bar. He's an up and coming fighter.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah,
that fight he had on he got knocked down in the first round. It kind of shocked like, oh shoot. But he got up and he could. Both fighters. It was a good fight. I'm gonna say that, but he ended up I think went up to 8 rounds, got the decision window, but it was spectacular fashion. He kept his composure, continued with his game plan, and ended up outboxing a guy that had a little bit of a height and reach advantage on him.
Yeah.
He's somebody I'm looking into it in that division. I'm gonna give y'all the guy's name. Give me a minute.
All right, while he's looking for that, I got mine.
Go ahead.
I got 1A and 1B.
Okay.
I got Shakur Stevenson. I'm still rocking with him.
Okay.
I liked his progression. I thought
he looked good in the last fight.
Yeah, I thought a lot of guys had questions about his power. A little too early about that. To me, he still looks like he's always looking for that perfect shot, and I feel like he's gonna develop with experience a good diversity of punches from like sitting down on it and then just giving those peppering, frustrating shots. So I think he looked really good, and I think Daniel Dubois, I gotta give him 1B, and it's not even off what he's doing professionally in the ring. Those gym wars go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Those stories can take you a long way. Before anybody knew Errol Spence was the truth, the gym knew he was the truth.
They knew. They
you know
knew
what I'm saying?
He put.
He was
what's
beating
his name?
ass.
Yeah, he put what's his name?
Couple people.
Pass.
A couple what's her names? A couple what's her names?
Broner. Gave Floyd a black eye and everything, man.
Yeah, not even just that. Like, not to crap on anybody because it's sparring. You're supposed to.
Yes, that happens.
Iron sharpens iron, but
exactly.
Daniel Dubois, man, like he had so many cameras stuck in his face this year, and I think it was good media training for him because all this happened from a sparring match. You know what I'm saying? This ain't even with the bright lights under you. These were no lights. I think he's handling that well. He's humble with it. So I'd say Shakur Stevenson and Daniel Dubois.
Oh, for me, even though she didn't look good in the last fight, I like what I've been seeing out of Katie Taylor. She's coming along nicely.
Yeah, but she can't be a prospect. She's a champion.
Yeah, but she only got 4 fights?
So?
Yeah, but she's a champion. She's a champion.
Oh, so
can't be a prospect and be a champion.
You're a real cat right now, Willie.
Nah. To me, she's a prospect until she fights somebody I want like a
man. I'm trying to change the rules, fool.
I'm about to say you're trying to redefine a fucking prospect. Oh hell no.
Nah. But if anything, I like Josh Taylor. I like the way he improved. I like the way he stopped that dude that Bo was talking about. I mean, that was fucking beautiful. Lamont Roach looked really good in his last fight. He was very impressive. He was very calm under pressure. So if I had to pick one of the two, I'd probably go with Lamont Roach Jr. just because he's American and we don't support enough of them guys. So I'm going to support him.
Is this guy black?
Yeah.
Why he sound
his father just died? His father just died. He was a trainer.
Well,
he was a trainer. Yeah, that was him. Yeah.
God bless his father. But
Daniel Dubois is another guy that impresses me. Just like what Kashad said, with especially hearing about his gym wars, and he dropped Joshua in sparring and things like that. So it's a lot of names coming up, man. A lot of people coming up through the ranks, and some of these fighters are on a fast track too, man. So Don't blink. Will we call Anthony Yarde a contender now?
Yeah, he's a contender. He's
Yeah,
past prospect.
Yeah.
You know, he's a little raw though, so he still has things to improve on, in my opinion.
And then he has to fight. He hasn't had that proven
fight yet, right?
Yeah, like
in your opinion.
Josh Taylor fought O'Hara Davis, and he fought that other guy. And then Lamont Roach just fought a very good veteran.
What Kelly did to O'Hara Davis, man, he made him look like an amateur in there.
Yes, he did.
You know what I mean? So I like him. I've been watching him. I've been keeping my eye on him. Lamont Roach Jr. just came to my radar, but in his last fight, I was really, really, really impressed with him, man. Hopefully they continue doing the right thing by matchmaking, you know, because that's very important in the fighter's development. You know,
look at Antoine Douglas for an example.
Oh, bro, Antoine Douglas, who didn't know how to move his head.
He was looking real good until they put him in there with that the Russian guy. I don't want to mess his name up, but it was a hard fight. I think both of them either dropped each other or something like that. But man, he does not look the same. He took a year away from the sport and came back, and still, it's like I don't know when he gets hurt. He lost that fighter, you know. I forget how to really word this, but
kind of like what we might see from Nigel Benn Jr. Conor Benn.
Conor Benn?
Yeah, he just had a fight. It was a hard fight.
He got dropped twice, didn't he?
Huh?
Didn't he get dropped like twice?
Yeah, I think it was like at least once, but both his eyes had swollen up real bad, man. And that was just such a tough fight. So
he made that fight harder than it was supposed to be.
Yeah, but a fight like that, to your point, could really make you reevaluate some shit. Like, man, do I really want to do this?
That's matchmaking going wrong right there, man.
Yeah. You know, and it's funny you mentioned that because we've actually seen a lot of that in boxing. I thought Sammy Vasquez being pitted up against Collazo.
Yeah.
After Vasquez had just took a beating by Felix Diaz, I was like, that he should not have been fighting Collazo. That was bad matchmaking, man.
Let me ask you guys this question: was this year the year of the C-level fighter?
No, I won't say that. I won't say that. I won't say that. Hell no.
You know what? I can't say that. I'm gonna tell you why I can't say that, because we say this all the time in boxing is a guy might look a certain way in a fight, but when he gets that fight, that opportunity, he raises his game. And that happens in boxing.
So you're saying for one night a C-level fighter could become an A-level, B-level fighter?
I'm not even saying that, but that sounds like what Bo is saying.
No, what I'm saying is when a fighter is seeking an opportunity and he finally gets that opportunity, he understands the importance of this moment, okay? He will do certain things or try certain things or even show us certain things that we didn't think he had because of the opponent that's in front of him. And styles make fights so much so, right? Like Rumverside's style was perfect for Chocolatito. Now, how will it work against Estrada? We don't know. But for Chocolatito, it was perfect because Chocolatito was trying to push him around, and he was the bigger man against Chocolatito. So he couldn't just be pushed around.
That's where you knew Chocolatito had the wrong game plan.
Right. So it's just a style to make fights. But I'm just saying that I think it was just a matter of we also saw guys that really wanted this opportunity and they understand the importance of it. So when they get it, they just kind of, after so many failed attempts like George Groves. And I mean, how many times did he fail to win the title? Now he finally won one.
Wasn't this his fourth try?
Yeah, Caleb Truex. So they kind of raised their game a little bit. I'm not saying they become an A-level fighter, but they just realize, hey, I have to do something different here that wasn't working before. And they kind of raised their game a little bit.
For one night, in their own minds, they were great. You know what I mean? To them.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna add on to that, and I'm gonna just break every boxing fan's heart and just keep it brutally fucking honest.
He gonna keep it funky, ladies and gentlemen.
Your favorite fighter ain't that fucking good.
Yep, I knew you was gonna say that.
That's the truth of it. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like a lot of these tiers, a lot of these fighters are put in A and B.
Soon.
Way too soon. Like, no, let's not jump on these fighters that, well, I'll say the club level fighter, because you got your ass whooped. I'm not finna be like, oh man, he was fighting for his mother because she died 6 years ago, and he's still been boxing his whole life, and now he's fighting for her spirit. And on that one night, it felt so good, and she enthralled him, and he won. Nah, fuck that. You just wasn't that good. Period. A lot of these fighters are just losing because they're running into something that they've never worked on. Broner loses to Figueroa, and his career is done. Like, people gonna watch him because it's a spectacle to see him get his ass whooped. We always know that careful matchmaking is gonna keep him away from somebody who's pressuring him, who ain't just gonna sit there and wait for him to open his mouth and say before he throw a punch. Like they're always gonna match him against someone else that can beat him. I mean, they're gonna match him against somebody he can beat. Like that's just the truth. And a lot of these fights, your favorite fighter
not
is matched
that
up.
Figueroa fight. Not that Figueroa fight.
Yeah,
but
wait a minute.
Fight.
Wait a minute. The Mikey Garcia, anybody that thought Broner was gonna win that fight, you're a fan of Broner. But like, I feel like that was Heyman just telling Broner like, hey, I can't do nothing for you.
Wait. So are you trying to tell me that Focus Broner is a myth?
Yeah.
Okay, I knew that already, but
like Greek.
that
motherfucker is a myth like Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Maybe it might be the biggest myth in the history of history.
You know what was the year of? It was the year of cherry picking gone wrong.
Oh, most definitely.
I'll say that, yeah. Because a lot of these fighters, these lesser known fighters, or these fighters that don't get these opportunities that Bo was talking about, they watching film. They're watching you more than they're watching TV. They're watching their wife, their kids. They're looking at their tables. They're looking at their pantry, looking in the closet, looking at their account. They watching.
Stop talking about your life, man.
No, I'm just saying.
You know what they watching, Kachar? You know what they watching? You know what they watching? They watching their bank account. They're like, oh, I need to get my money up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They hungry.
Like, they looking at everyday life, and they like, okay, this fighter right here, I'm gonna use Broner. I don't want to just rag on him too much. But okay, Broner eating. He got money. He still ain't moving his feet.
Which one of those? Which one of those, Bernard? Like for you personally, which one of those upsets like shocked you the most? You there, Bernard? How about you, Bo? Oh, Bernard, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. My fault.
I said, yeah. Which one of those like cherry picking going wrong shocked you the most? Like, damn, he actually won.
The Saddam Ali fight.
Okay, why'd that shock you?
Because I saw the height advantage in the reach from Saddam Ali, but it was just like probably the best way to put it.
You know what? After I saw the bicep, it didn't shock me anymore because I explained. I saw the fight turning in one way before the injury, and then sort of after the injury, the fight went back to being the way it was. But Saddam's Ali success in the beginning, in the early on, shocked me.
Okay, what shocked me is because you're pulling somebody that was a 147-pound contender into the 154-pound division. First and foremost, never fought in that division where Cotto has been a mainstay in the latter of his career in that division.
Yeah.
Then when you see it, like, okay, on paper, yeah, but I've also seen Cotto too fight guys with a little bit taller, like Daniel Gill, and he's gotten them out of there. So I'm expecting the same thing.
Wait a minute, but no, that wasn't Daniel Gill in there, bro. That was his corpse. Chill out. 7'7". That wasn't alive. That wasn't. He was dead when he got in the ring.
He was a zombie.
I feel no pity because he agreed to it. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. I ain't pitying him, but
he was a zombie. But Cotto, like, yeah, this guy never fought at 154 pounds. We bring him up, and we're gonna get the easy W and go off in the sunset. Well, it didn't end like that. So, man,
Which one? Who you think had the biggest upset? You have to go Caleb Truex, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Most definitely.
Bo, old ass motherfucker.
Man, you know, the biggest upset, dog. You see, there's a lot of them you can look at. I see Bernard's point about the Saddam Ali. I definitely see that about the Saddam Ali because this was a Miguel Cotto.
Yeah, but you know what took it away from me? It was just the injury. After that, it was like, okay, whatever.
I think for me, I'm gonna have to go with Jeff Horn.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna have to go with Jeff Horn because that was a fight that many motherfucking people felt that Pacquiao.
I saw a lot of people. I saw a lot of people get that shit wrong.
Yeah, and
including me.
Yeah, and now I think what people got to understand is it wasn't like Jeff Horn put up a better fight than any of us thought he could fucking do. He really did. And we also saw that Pacquiao could no longer pull the trigger because he had him hurt in the 9th round, or I forget, it was either 9th or 10th round. He had him hurt, but he couldn't finish him.
Right.
And then he didn't come out the next round looking to finish him. He came out passive. But yeah, that Jeff Horn to me is big because he was such a huge underdog from a place no one heard from. Like real talk, man. You ask anybody about Australia and they would talk Crocodile Dundee. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, that's the only person I know from out there.
Yeah, you know, or Anthony Mundine or something. So
wait. To both of y'all credit, Bernard, Bo, like you guys know, in my boxing group, I run a pick'em league.
Right.
Yeah. Both of those fights, nobody got right. The Horn one, if somebody got it right, it wasn't because they wanted to pick Horn. It was just that they're from Australia and they wanted to represent, and they flat out told you that. So
yeah, that's that Bernard shit. Bernard be doing shit like that, dog. Bernard be making shit like that. And be getting that shit right too, though, man.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you, there was a pick this year. I'm so mad that I did not pick.
I think it was the Horn pick.
No, it wasn't the Horn pick, dog. I'm gonna tell y'all what the pick was. It was the Rungvisai pick.
Oh yeah. I remember that. You were like,
I sat there because something was like pick Rungvisai, and I didn't go with my gut. And when I saw that fight, I said, "Man, I'm going with my gut, man." I'm gonna stop. I literally, that Rungvisai was the pick I should have picked. I beat myself up about it because if I would have picked it, because I'm like, yo, I'm thinking Chocolate is gonna make it a fight, go come in and come back, but man, but how Rungvisai did that in fashion, I'm like, damn.
You know what we forgot? We was talking about a fighter that probably surprised us this year.
Who?
I have to go with Jermell Charlo, man. He impressed me, man.
Oh well, Jermell Charlo simply found a trainer that told him to believe in his power and showed him how to believe in himself and sit on
like his 2 fights be his
punches more.
Like Jermell Charlo has made me come up with a new trophy, which is the careful what you wish for trophy, because both Hatley and Lubin asked for it and the motherfuckers get.
Well, word is, word is that Lubin's still twitching.
I ain't even gonna get in on Erickson because I think he's gonna have a great career.
Yeah, he is.
He's gonna come back.
He's gonna bounce back.
He's a product of the millennial generation. He jumped off the porch too damn soon. Too soon. I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm gonna tell the truth.
Hold on, Kashad, but that's your generation though.
I'm gonna tell the truth though. I just said I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm gonna keep it 100.
He jumped off the porch too early. He said
he did.
That's like he jumped from a fucking 5th-story building with no parachute.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to believe in yourself, but there was a lot of his peers that were saying, hey, slow down, man, slow down.
Hey, on that subject, trainer of the year, I got Derek James.
Oh, most definitely.
I think what he did with Jermell Charlo.
Yeah, he got 2 champions this year.
He got 2 champions.
Yeah, I agree.
What he did with Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo looked horrible against who was his Julian? Was it Julian Jackson?
No, Julian. That was Julian Williams. No. Julian Jackson.
Yeah, he looked horrible against him, man. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm just saying, this kid has a lot of wasted movement, and he got a hold.
If it went for that knockout, man, he lost that fight.
Yeah, man. He got
him out of there. He did what he's supposed to do.
I got a whole, this kid. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? And then he just kind of cut that wasted movement down, started sitting on his punches, and that Lubin knockout, man, that was a knockout that already happened in film. You know what I mean? It was perfect setup. He knew he was gonna duck his head right where he was gonna be at, man. He threw that punch before the head was even there. It's just beautiful to watch, and that goes. You got to get kudos to the trainer for that. The way Errol Spence goes in there so poised, man. In a fight where he was taking some shots there early on, but he kept coming. He showed determination. He got the right coaching. His coach knew exactly what to say when he went back to the corner. He knew exactly when to turn it on, and that's when you look at a trainer and you're like, that man is doing his fucking job. Bernard, any thoughts?
I don't know if I could come back after what you said, man. I agree with you 100%.
Kashar. Go ahead, Bernard. Go ahead.
No, I agree with you 100%, bro.
Well,
I agree, man.
Yeah.
I don't have no counter to that.
I don't think anybody should, man. Derek James, I don't think anybody should, man. When you look at what he's done, what his fighters have done, the improvements on his fighters, the way his guys have been, like his fighters, with the exception of Brandt, and I think that was just a moment situation. But his guys been leaving bodies in their wake, man. He been leaving bodies in their wake. So, and
I think Brandt was just too small for that shit.
No, I think that moment he just wasn't ready because he didn't fight like he should have fought. So he just wasn't ready. I think the moment, but you look at how well prepared these guys are, and how just ready from a standpoint of these guys are ready, and the challenges that they were willing to take. Like even Rob Brandt lost, he was willing to take a challenge by going up and entering that tournament instead of staying at 160. Same thing with Spence, was willing to go to the UK and didn't let that bother him. Same thing like we said about Charlo. So, man, you can't argue with Derek James, man.
Right. So now I got to ask, man, what are we going to see going forward, 2018? What do you guys think? Bo?
I'm very skeptical because normally when you get years like this, they're very hard to be followed up at the pace of the fights that we got, unless all the participants and the promoters and the managers, advisors, and the fighters themselves saw some of the benefits from these type of fights and decide, okay, we kind of want to keep this going. I can tell you right now, I'm not liking what I'm hearing from fucking Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? Like Keith Thurman ain't, it's like, okay, he's one I can put on the list that might not do exactly everything I want him to do.
Keith Thurman will be fighting Sean Porter in November and shit.
Yeah, okay. Which is actually, it's a good fight, but it's not the fight that we want to see.
No, it's not the fight, but I'd rather, you know what, get that mandatory out the way. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. Right.
Get him out the way.
Yeah, you're right. But he could have came back now.
Yep. Okay. He could have came back in December.
He's been slap boxing in the street and he's at peace with himself. Okay.
Hey, you can't.
Wait. So what the fuck does he do? He schedules a fight for April, when he could have had that fight in February, and then fought his mandatory in fucking September, and you could have had a fucking nice fight at the end of the year, or in August for his mandatory, and had a nice fight at the end of the year.
So I'm skeptical, man. I'm skeptical. I'm hoping that it translates into something big. I mean, it's starting out pretty good. You got the
you might fuck around see Crawford Spence before you see Thurman Spence.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got some nice fights kicking off the year. You got that David Benavidez and Gavril Part 2 fight.
Right.
That fight, that's a nice fight. You got the Superfly 2 fight. You got the Christina Hammer being on the undercard of Clarissa Shields fight. You got
Peterson Spence.
Peterson, Spence. You got Dorticas and Gassiev. So it's starting off nice.
You got Groves Eubank Jr.
Right, yeah. Groves Eubank Jr. So it's starting off nice. Let's see how it finishes, though.
Bernard, what's the fight to see?
I'm going with the first fight. I think it's going to be the first fight is going to be the Spence and Peterson.
Well, that'll be the second one technically because you got Shields versus what's the name on the 12th.
Yeah, okay. Not take away from the women. But I could see PBC gonna start off with another bang. I just see that. I don't see that, and I'm seeing that fight as a potential fight of the year candidate. I said some fights, but I think these two guys could.
I see that shit like easy work, free smoke.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't think. Shoot, I don't think it's going to be an easy fight, as everybody is saying.
Who you talking?
I mean,
Peterson Spence.
I think Peterson.
No, that won't be an easy fight.
Yeah,
no.
4 rounds.
Honestly, Peterson should be a champion right now. Thurman, not Thurman. Garcia shouldn't have that belt to unify.
But Errol Spence is not Garcia.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, the movement could be troubling.
He gonna fold that boy.
Okay, we'll see.
Long share season, baby.
Long share season.
Hey, here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? We all have seen how Lamont Peterson, when he gets in Brooklyn, he shows out.
Yeah. I don't even think it's Brooklyn. It's just
I think it's gonna be a classic.
All right,
man. Matisse just
for the big fight.
All right, so let me ask y'all this then. What's the fight to make?
Wilder Joshua. What the hell?
That's the biggest fight.
Yeah.
So it's not even Spence, Thurman, or Thurman, Crawford. None of that.
The heavyweight division has always trumped all divisions. The heavyweight division has always been the standard bearer.
So that's the fight.
You know what's funny? And people might disagree.
The Castros love the big guys for some reason, man.
Well, because the knockouts. Because of the knockouts.
To be honest with you, I'm straight up honest. I love boxing. I love all 17 divisions, but the heavyweight division is actually my least favorite.
Well, you know what? But here's the thing, and if you know boxing history, I think a lot of times you have to know history. Yeah, you have to know the history of the sport to understand what's being said by some of us who have been following the sport for years. But if you know the history of the sport, boxing from a financial standpoint, and even from a fan perspective standpoint of notoriety, has always flourished when the heavyweight division was popping.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Floyd Mayweather was just a fucking anomaly. Right? He was an anomaly.
That usually, Floyd Mayweather, the Manny Pacquiao's.
That was just an anomaly.
Even the Miguel Cottos to an extent, where they have, like, these guys, they have a very big built-in fan base.
Right, but, and if you look at how popping the heavyweight division was this year, some of it can attribute to what we've also seen from all of boxing this year. And whenever the heavyweight division is popping, and for some odd reason, if the heavyweight division is popping and buzzing and making noise and people talking, whether it's good shit or bad shit, it is filtered down to whether the rest of boxing has benefited from that.
Yeah, I mean, look. The heavyweight division, it's like this, man. I'm explaining to folks. I had two people. One person actually asked me about Wilder. They probably never seen a full fight. You know, but they saw the knockout and it's a heavyweight champion. So they asked me about him. They asked me about AJ. These people don't watch boxing, but the heavyweight, the big boys always put butts in the seats, always bring out the fans. For some reason, people are they love seeing the big guys, man. I don't understand it sometimes because a lot of times the same people will knock the little guys, and those little guys, man, they give you a hell of a show too.
That's true. Now, you know, I want to point something out though, man. I think a lot of times, especially like when it comes to Wilder, like you can talk all the shit you want to talk about Wilder, right? We can talk that shit.
That motherfucker put you to sleep though.
No, but here's my biggest issue. All the shit we talk about Wilder. You know what Wilder isn't doing? Wilder isn't
ducking.
Wilder isn't not continuing his fights because of his hand being hurt or broken. Wilder isn't publicly saying publicly saying how he's scared to fight a motherfucker Kubrat Pulev. Wilder ain't doing that. He ain't doing that.
Is he at peace with himself?
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Is he right? Is he saying? Has he ever told another guy in front of him, "I'm not as hungry as he is"? Has he ever said? Have he said that? When called out,
man, did you guys see Wilder's face when he did that? Because he was sitting in between them, like, "Boy, you sound scared." I know that look. I know that.
You know what, guys? That was a shocking moment of 2017. The way he sounded. And that I never heard a fighter say that, like, I'm not as hungry as you, or like, I'm at peace with myself. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Is this boxing or we talking about life and shit?
It mean come take my belts.
But no, I just want to point that out because we can talk shit about a lot of fighters. Like, you know, I get on a lot of fucking fight. I get on Timothy Sadler, but you know, the motherfucker ain't never quit.
Timothy Bradley gave you hella wars, man, and good fights too.
Yeah, so he never quit. So I just want to point that out. I just want to point that out that, you know, you can hate on the fighter all you want, but you can also look at a fighter and look at what some other cat's doing and say, well, at least he ain't doing that shit. So,
a fighter that you expect to show big things from coming in the future. Kashad, I'm gonna start with you. I want you to give me a fighter you expect to see big things from and a fighter that you think will disappoint you.
Ooh.
The fighter that I'm going to expect big things from is Errol Spence. And the fighter I expect to disappoint me.
Kashad Hall.
Oh, shit.
Shut up. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Anyway, believe it or not, man, it's a hot take. And I understand what Bo was saying earlier about, you know, the matchmaking may have caused this guy some issues. But Keith Thurman ain't in no easy fight with Jesse Vargas. He gonna fuck around and disappoint the whole world and lose both of them belts. And
I think I was talking about that with Bernard or somebody like that. We was talking about that.
We was on here and I said this is my first theory when I heard Thurman throw that bullshit out there was, hey, he's trying to throw Spence off. You know, it was a mental game, right? But I also, when you sat there and said that, you also made yourself a target to the other wolves coming up.
Yeah.
Jesse Vargas got a chip on his shoulder and wants to prove himself.
Yeah.
He may do it against him and take those belts.
And he's a former champion. He's a former champion.
Right.
Yeah.
He's the former champion.
So he knows what it feels like to have that belt around his waist, and he wants that back.
He's not a pushover.
Right.
Right. We saw what he did to Bradley. All it takes is one shot.
So with that said, Kashad, that was actually two good picks. Bo?
Man. Woo. So the fighter that I'm expecting big things from in 2017. Oh God, man. You know, I'm gonna have to go with Mikey Garcia.
Okay.
I'm expecting some big things from him and from this aspect. I'm not particularly crazy about the fight with Lipinets, but it's a championship fight at 140. But if you look at
You're crazy about the avenues he gives him.
Right, but if you look at the fights he got at 140 and the fights that he can still make at 135, he should have a very good year as far as level of competition because you still got cats at 135 he can fight, and 140 is open because of Crawford going up, and you got Rance Bartholomew who's fighting for a belt. You know, he's fighting Lipinets. So you got some good fights he can make between 140 and 135. So I'm expecting some big things from Mikey in that aspect. Okay. Only because you got two divisions where you can make some good fights. You got, like I said, you got Robert Easton Jr. You got what's the Golden Boy fighter's name? Bernard, I can't remember his name right now. Linares. You got Linares. Okay, if Lomachenko goes to 135, you got that. Then, like I say, you look at 140. You know, 140 is wide open. You have, you know, you got some belts out there. You can grab Flanagan might grab a belt at 140. You got Relke and Rance Bartholomew fighting for a belt at 140. So I'm expecting some big things, man. At least one unification match up there out of him. And so that's a fight I'm expecting big things out of in 2017 because he made a lot of noise. I mean, 2018. He made a lot of noise this year. And the fighter who might disappoint me this year, I hate to say this.
Oh shit!
I really hate to say this.
Hot take.
The fighter I think that's going to disappoint this year, just from we might not see him no more, Rigo.
Oh shit! Good
Rigo.
pick.
Man, that just disappointed you because you Cuban, bro.
No. I'm saying because that kind of the way he left, the way he
that should have retired you, man, because you're not that popular.
That's what I'm saying. So that's
what he was thinking about when he quit, retirement.
And that's the reason why I say that's the fight that might disappoint me in 2018 because he might not fight, and if he fight, he might fight one time, and that's it. And it's like back to the same old thing.
Bernard?
Oh, I got a tie, and I'm looking at another division.
Yeah, what tie? In which category? Good or the bad?
The good
is
going to be the middleweight division. Looking for Jamal Charlo,
right,
and Daniel Jacobs to continue their path in that division to continue to do good things, even possibly run to each other.
Okay, that would be a great fight.
But the person that's going to continue to disappoint me this year, as is last year, is Demetrius Andrade.
Boo boo.
Ooh, good one.
Oh,
his career is boo boo. Is boo boo right now. So I don't. Like I said, he was trying to enjoy that Christmas, Christmas cookies. That's why he didn't want to take the fight with Derevchenko.
Yeah, he was canceling fights while at a photo shoot.
Right. For HBO. Yo, like. So as of right now, I think he's gonna continue to be like, yo, I want the big fights and everything. I just at the point like, hey, I like to hear himself talk. He's one of those kids that like to hear himself talk. Like he want to sound important. That's the only thing you'll get out of him this year is the interviews where he's waiting.
Hey yo,
in the locker room.
You know who remind me of?
Like, who?
Like that co-worker. Like you go to work with him, right? You do all the work, but he seems to always want to try to take all the credit.
Yeah. That co-worker that for 8 hours he didn't do nothing. But that 7th hour and 50 minute, that last 10-minute mark, you want to act like he worked the whole day.
Hey, but you know he'll be at the fights, right?
Yeah.
Right, he's gonna be in the hallway. Like he gonna try to get in front of the camera and stuff. He gonna play like he gonna walk over there. Then he gonna be like, they gonna be like, yo, Demetrius Andrade. Oh man, y'all want to talk to me? Oh sure, come over here, man. Yeah. I give you my take on Billy Joe Saunders and this and that. Watch. I personally expect big things out of Errol Spence and Bud Crawford. I expect them to both keep going in the same winning direction. I don't think Spence is gonna get Thurman this year, so I don't know if their paths might cross sooner than later. We never know, but I'm hoping it does because that's truly like that fight to me that's the one I want to see personally on a personal level. But on the disappointment fight side, I have to pick two guys. One of them you already picked, Bernard. Andre, Demetrius Boo Boo Andre, and Gary Russell Jr.
Did he fight this year?
Gary Russell,
I remember.
Yeah,
he only has to fight. He only fought once. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, that's all he got to do as a champion. So,
well, it is 27 Gary Russells. So,
yeah, I just want to see these guys. I have all the confidence in their ability in the ring. I just want to see them in the ring.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So. Those two guys right there are my biggest disappointment. I just don't see them even trying to right the ship. So we won't see them both maybe once or Boo Boo will probably see twice. Gary Russell we might see just once, and then he'll call out Lomachenko again, but not do anything to get
Man.
Of Lomachenko. Like, if you're not fighting, people aren't gonna really give a fuck if you're calling somebody out. You know what I'm saying? So that right there, he's probably I probably rate him a little higher on my disappointment list than I do in Andre, because Andre, at least he's with HBO. He might have an opportunity to maybe land on Daniel Jacobs or a somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? But I would like to see both of those guys do more. And let's talk.
Okay.
Let's talk.
Well, I think Boo Boo Andrade is the only reason why Cats probably ain't picking Adonis Stevenson, because of Boo Boo.
Oh God, I forgot about him.
Exactly.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you. I think I did this on your show, Bo. The reason guys aren't picking Adonis Stevenson is because I don't care what nobody says, man. That other guy has to be the richest boxer in the sport of boxing to not fight, man. I'm telling you, I've been saying this. This dude.
Step aside.
Yeah.
Like, Alvarez.
Come on, dude.
Well, hopefully that fight with Bandu Jack and
he's fucked though. Didn't you see who he got to fight?
Yeah, he's got to fight Gavasik, right?
Gavasik, yeah, he's fucked.
I thought it was Gassiev or something.
No, Gavasik, you got to fight Gavasik.
Yeah, same shit. Yeah, Gavasik. So he might lose that mandatory status after that fight. So
it don't matter. All the money.
Matter. He already got like four houses, 3 Ferraris, just off a step aside and shit. And then he double dips because then you put me on the
undercard.
Right. So
hopefully we get the fight between Adonis and Bandu Jack. I'm hoping that fight goes through.
I think that'll work.
Hey, motherfucker. You have a post in the roast group that you need to address, bro. It's fucking Badu Jack, not Bandu, motherfucker.
It is Badu. I think I told your old ass that before.
All right, man. What up? Bandu
Jack. If he was Cuban, your ass would be up now. I'm playing.
Oh shit,
you're not lying. You're not lying.
He gonna roll those. Hey, yo, he gonna roll those R's. He gonna make sure you roll those R's.
You're not lying.
Hey, he'll be like Rolando.
Not lying.
Rigo.
100% correct.
Rigo.
Guermo Regandeal. It's not Regandeal, it's Regandeal.
Oh shit, man. So we're gonna close the show out, fellas. But no, I want you to tell them where they could find you at.
You can find me on Instagram at The Movement BP, DAMUVMENTBP. Excuse me. Also on Twitter at The Movement Boxing. That's a capital D, capital M, and a capital B. You can find me in the Movement Facebook group as well as Eastwood Boxing. Excuse me. Wow. Boxing groups on Facebook as well as here on Truth and Facts About Boxing and the Movement Boxing Podcast on Sundays.
Kashad, everywhere.
Yeah, I'll be somewhere. Just find me where you see me at. Talking boxing with the guys. You'll see me somewhere.
You'll be a mainstay on here. Oh.
Man, of course, you can find me right here with my man. Now that he got his own show, finally got his ass in gear and got his own shit. So you'll find me right here from time to time whenever my man need me.
That motherfucker gonna be like my co-host.
Man.
We gonna do a show here and then go on your channel.
Hey. It'll be the only time you seen Cuba and Puerto Rico work together, I guess.
That's about it, right?
Hey, motherfucker, don't get mad at me for telling the truth either, goddamn.
It's the truth. The truth.
Shit, that shit ain't nothing but a banana boat away, man. Stop tripping.
Yep.
But yeah, you can find me right here. Of course, you can find me right here on Truth and Facts About Boxing with my man Bernard, Detective B, doing his thing. Also the DAMUVMENT Movement Podcast. Man, shout out to Prodigy of Boxing. Shout out to everybody that's part of the Movement family. Shout out to Three Kings Boxing. My man Kashan for coming on. Props to him.
Hell yeah.
And man, dog, good talk, good boxing thing, and everybody out there listening, man. This is what it is.
Hey, Bo, I think you got to get used to saying you're a writer for Three Kings Boxing because
Oh, that's right. That's right. Writing, right. Am I writing at Three Kings, man? And
Yeah, I
dude,
mean, shit, we do so much shit, man. We lose track of
yeah,
things.
dog. Between that, working and taking care of all my young children, Kashad, Bernard, Sampson, Aaron, 2K, all you young motherfuckers been doing all that. God damn it, my life is full. Fuck y'all.
Truth and facts about boxing, boy. You gonna catch me on there a lot. So let me just close it out real quick by saying, hey, yo, listen. We come on here from time to time, most of the time, and we talk about this shit because we love it, we live it, we eat it, we sleep it. Like, this is what we love to do. It's been a hell of a year. Hopefully, it just keeps going, and that momentum keeps growing. I'm Willie the Kid. You could catch me right here in East Week Boxing. You could catch me in East Week Boxing on Facebook. Part of Three Kings Boxing. I'm the co-founder / writer / whatever else I need to be. I do whatever I got to do. So you catch me on there, Three Kings Boxing on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can definitely catch me with my man Bo on Truth and Facts About Boxing. Shout out to 2K, the Prodigy of Boxing. Shout out to my boy, Colossal Boxing Talk, Jarrell. So big cool. So let's to all the fellas out there, my man C-Bone, everybody, like, let's just keep it going. Next week, Eastwick Boxing UK comes out. My man Aaron's gonna be doing that. AC Cooper. I need to catch him with the articles on Three Kings Boxing as well. We're a big team. We're a big family, and y'all do what y'all do. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. And a happy New Year's to everybody. Oh, and by the way, fucking Bo is a casual.